What's going on, everyone? I'm the OPJellicent, and I'm battling here for week number 7 of WPL season number 9. My opponent this week was Stormplays, coach of the San Diego Sneasels. He is currently 5-1, and we are 6-0, so this is a matchup of two of the higher seeds in the league. Let's talk about team preview and the team that I brought to this game. My Mega Tyranitar is actually a Stealth Rock's Taunt set, with Stone Edge and Ice Punch being its two attacking moves. I figured physically defensive Mega Venusaur would be one of his better responses to Mega Tyranitar, and I do have speed investment to be able to outspeed like a Mega Venusaur with a bit of speed investment, so I can get a faster taunt off. So ideally, if I can wear that down, Choice Scarf Keldeo can have a lot of fun right here. Similarly, my Roserade is also a Hazard Stack Mon with spikes, but it does have the Z extra sensory, so Shattered Psyche to be able to weaken the Mega Venusaur and open up the way for late game Choice Scarf Keldeo. My Fortress is just max HP, max defense with the Akaberry. Helps out against Pokemon like Weavile. I do also carry the Hidden Power Ice just to break a Zygarde substitute reliably. So despite everything I've said, Keldeo is not actually my primary win condition. My primary win condition is Trick Room Reuniclus with Recover and then Psychic and Signal Beam. This thing does so much work at team preview, and I particularly liked it because it doesn't really care about Ditto copying it because I'll still be slower, right? So that's very nice. We have Keldeo right here with the Choice Scarf, which I've already mentioned. It's just Surf, Hydro Pump, Secret Sword, Icy Wind, nothing special there. And then Assault Vest Tornadus, which was mainly here for like his Tornadus. I EV'd to live a Supersonic Sky Strike from his Tornadus Eye, but that decided not to come. So it's not very valuable right now, but it can still help out against, I guess, the Venusaur. And yeah, let's see what went down right here, as he's going to lead off with the Kabutops. I'm going to go for the hazards right away with my Fortress. He actually reveals to have the Hidden Power Fire right here, but thankfully due to my Akaberry, that will not be able to 2-hit KO. I can just get a Gyro Ball off right now. He goes Klefki this turn, and this damage is actually great for my Roserade. I do have the Technician HP Fire. I'm going to throw up a Spike right here, but this next turn what I want to do is just throw off the Gyro Ball to ensure it's in range of my Roserade, so that's absolutely great. I do get full parried right there, so no spikes for me, but I can continue to spike up this turn, and this turn he's going to get up his next layer, and I believe at this point we both have all 3 layers, despite what the thing shows. And I'm going to get a Rapid Spin off right here. I'm curious as to why he Hazard Stacked me because, I mean, this is a Rapid Spinner, right? So I did not get fully paralyzed that turn. It would have been really big had I gotten fully paralyzed because I do have to withdraw this since I can't let it take an HP Fire because it's my best Weavile response. So I was able to get the Rapid Spin off, and I do have 3 layers on his side of the field. I can just bring in Assault Vest Tornadus as he predicts that, I'm assuming, and goes right for the knockoff. That's totally cool. I can just go ahead and throw off a Hurricane right now, as he does withdraw into the Klefki, and it does reveal to be a 50% berry. So good prep there. Yeah, and I definitely have 3 layers of spikes up, that definitely was 3 layers damage. So right here, I'm predicting him not to go right for Thunder Wave, just because I've already shown that I can use Fortress as a defensive response, and I really want to knock this out. So I'm going to stand right here and go right for the Heat Wave, as he does go right for the spikes, but my Heat Wave does hit to the left. So I got nothing out of that turn, as this turn I know he's going to go for the Thunder Wave, so I'm just going to switch out into my Fortress, because he really wants that speed control gone. And this really sucks right here, so these 3 spikes go a long way in helping out my Reuniclus because his entire team is grounded. Even if Ditto copies my Tornadus, it still takes spikes damage before transforming, so these spikes would have been really valuable. And I did go for Gyro Ball this turn as opposed to the Rapid Spin, but unfortunately I don't get that move off, and he is going to be able to spin away all 3 of my layers, which is really bad, and I don't even get the kill. I got fully paralyzed again. I just spam Gyro Ball here as Venusaur is going to come back out, so that exchange was really tough. Had those 3 layers of spikes been up, I honestly think this would have been a wrap, just because his best win condition, being Weavile, would only have like 4 switch-ins the entire game. Here, Klefki is going to come in, as what I can do is just throw off a Hurricane. I do miss, but what I can do right here is just bring in my Fortress. I did make the offensive play last time, so predicting him to want to assume that I'm going to do that again is just, I'm going to go out into my Fortress right here, as he just throw out the T-Wave. That's totally okay. What I can do this turn is just throw up a Spike, knowing he's going to make the defensive switch in. Here he's just going to kind of go off my Choke and go right for the Hidden Power Fire, but I'm obviously not trying to do that. He brings in Klefki one more time this turn, as I'm able to hit my Hurricane, and I'm going to get the play right. It's a little bit risky considering he's only at 8%, but I figured that I just want this Klefki out of the way. I don't really care if he T-Waves my Tornadus at this point. I just want this Klefki dead, so I'm going to hit him up with the Heat Wave right here, and I will be able to kill the Klefki. So this turn Weavile comes in. I do have my Tornadus EV to live a jolly Icicle Crash from full health, but from this percentage, assuming he's not a boosting item, it's a roll, but I just want more intel regarding the Weavile. So what I do right here is decide to sack off my Fortress rather than trying to play around with Tornadus. I can get in Fortress right now, take the Icicle Crash, and what's funny is, I'm at 19%, the roll on knockoff is 16 to 18%, assuming he's not a boosting item, so this next turn he actually has to use the Ground EMZ Dig to be able to knock out my Fortress. That was pretty funny, as what I can do here is just get in Choice Scarf Keldeo. I'm going to swiftly double into my Tornadus, knowing the Venusaur is coming in, just to force the kill on the Kabutops that should already be dead at this point, so at least it's out of the way right now, and thankfully I'm able to hit my Hurricane. I'm actually very glad that I hit that, because it turns out he told me after that was Choice Scarf Kabutops, and my Rock Resist wasn't really there at this point. I would have had to take excessive damage with my Keldeo, and obviously that's bad when if I pressure Mega Venusaur, Keldeo kind of wins, right? So here he's going to bring out the Weavile to threaten me out. From this positioning, Weavile in my eyes is the only win condition he can actually reliably win with. I have so many checks to Zygarde, being my Mega Tyranitar, which is EV to live plus 1000 arrows even after these hazards, and I can knock it out with Ice Punch. I have Choice Scarf Keldeo with the Icy Wind, and I even have Icy Wind on my Tornadus. Even my Reuniclus naturally takes a hit from plus 1 Zygarde, so if I eliminate Weavile from the game, I can pretty much win this game right here, and I know for a fact Heat Wave is not going to kill, it's going to put him in range of Spike, but that's really all I need. And I know I can live the Icicle Crash, which is unfortunately for him going to hit to the left now. Unless he flinched crit me or I missed the Heat Wave, I really think that this was just a game-defining turn anyway, because as long as I got the Heat Wave off, I don't think he can win the game from that position, so now I might as well preserve my Torn, even though it should be like really low. Man, he's gonna miss against the Keldeo as well. Now this one, I don't know how much this one mattered. Maybe it would have put me in range of like plus 1 Zygarde's extreme speed, but I really do believe since this Weavile did take the Heat Wave, which it would have anyway, even had that Icicle Crash connected onto my Tornadus, I do win this game. So this is basically over. He can't win with the Weavile being dead. He's just basically trying to back differential at this point. Venusaur is going to hit the field right here. I can bring in my Tornadus safely as he does double into the Zygarde. Not really sure why. Maybe he was hoping to set up, but he goes right here for the crunch as I'm able to get an Icy Wind off. Maybe he was hoping I go hard into my Reuniclus, but at this point, it's literally just can I get in Reuniclus safely and I do win the game. He goes here into his Ditto, as what I can do is just hit him up with the Icy Wind one more time. I do know that because I don't have a lot of special attack investment, just due to the bulk I put on for Weavile, I can take a Hurricane from the Ditto, so I have to go right here for the U-turn. I do win the Speed Tie, which is a little bit lucky, but I can bring in my Tyranitar right now. He is obviously just going to go right for the Hurricane. This next turn, I just go right for the safe Stone Edge. I could have Ice Punched, but like I didn't want the Venusaur coming in. He goes out into Zygarde. I do miss the Stone Edge, but I think even from 21%, it didn't kill just due to how much defense I had in this thing, so I will be able to live the 1000 arrows though, and yeah, 56% from a non-choice band set definitely means had he been plus 1, I would have been able to take it, so Tyranitar would have actually been able to take on Dragon and Zygarde, assuming that's what he was. I can hit him up with the Ice Punch right here, and I will be able to knock him out. At this point, the Mega Venusaur is going to come in. I'm just going to show off the faster taunt, as I will be able to prevent it from recovering. He just goes right for the Giga Drain and takes the kill, and at this point, what I can do is just bring out my Reuniclus. I know even if he goes off for the knockoff and knocks off my Life Orb, I will be able to still knock him out, so I just go right here for the Psychic. Getting up the Trick Room would be a choke, because I don't really have a Psychic Resist left, and if Reuniclus gets too worn down from his save by crits or spit up drops, I could actually lose, so I opted just to take the KO, as his Ditto is going to come in right now. He's basically forced to lock Signal Beam since the Trick Room is not up. That will not be able to knock me out, as my Signal Beam will be able to pick off the Ditto, so we are able to win the game. Definitely a haxy game from both sides. I really do believe if my spikes stay up, I do win that game, just because Kabutops that was the last switch in with that thing, right? If he doesn't get the Rapid Spin off right there and dies to Gyro Ball, my spikes are there to stay for the entirety of the game, because I don't believe he had Defog on the Klefki at that point, and once again, the Icicle Crush miss definitely sucked, but as long as I don't get haxed with my Tornadus by flinches or crits or the Heat Wave miss, if that Heat Wave does go off, Weavile is no longer a win condition, and I do believe I win this game anyway. So we are able to defeat Storm, which is great. We move on to 7-0, still at the first seed in the entire league. One more win, and we are, I believe, secured for playoffs. I don't know if 7 wins secures, but I'm pretty sure it does. 1 win is just going to secure it no matter what, though. So ideally, we can do that next week against Henry and his New York Rangers, and I'll see you all then. Later.